I'm visiting the Nangak Tambore Wildlife Sanctuary in Melbourne's northeastern suburbs. It's a 30-hectare parcel of land that was set aside by Trobe University to create a haven for Australian plants and wildlife. Over a year ago, the university reintroduced emus into the area, and they're already having a beneficial impact on the plants in the reserve. Olivia Swain is the sanctuary's operations manager. This is such an incredible place, kind of largely in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's what I think is such a peaceful place to have so close to the CBD.
And tell me about these emus. I mean, this is not what you expect to see.
We have 3 young male emus here at the Wildlife Sanctuary. We reintroduced them to help fulfil an ecological function here.
Hi, mate.
Hi.
Which is Inquisition?
One of.
Nothing. Got nothing.
They're very curious. They're quite young, so they're still sort of learning about the world.
Because the public has access to this place. Like,
Yeah.
people can actually come and spend time.
Yes.
Not feed the emus, but spend time with them.
Yes. You get to come and experience what nature might have looked like pre-European settlement.
Emus are Australia's tallest native bird and belong to an ancient group of flightless birds called ratites. They're most common in open plains, but they're also found in alpine environments and dry forests. In the wild, they'll live for about 10 years. Emus are a big part of Australia's ecology. They would have been very widespread.
They would have been all over Australia, but with increased urbanisation, they've been pushed in towards the centre of Australia more.
Hi, mate. Hi. Hi, I don't have anything. Oh, they're clearly very beautiful. Tell me, what role do they actually play in a place like this?
They play a really huge role in a wildlife sanctuary like this. They help keep the weed levels down. You can see the emus grazing all day long. They like to keep those broadleaf weeds under control for us.
Have you seen a big change since they've arrived?
We've seen, particularly with flickweed, quite a big suppression of that this season.
And that's a monster to take care of. Like, once it's in your garden or your reserve, it's just such an exponential spreader.
Yes. We also see our emus in a lot of our water bodies, feeding off those lovely aquatic plants, the water ribbons being the main one. And you can see they kind of keep them nice and low, mowed down for us, and stop the water bodies from completely filling up with this plant.
Because that's a native, but you don't want it to completely dominate.
Yeah, we've got several species of aquatic plants in our water bodies, and the water ribbons really like to fill any space that it's given. So keeping it in a nice, manageable but healthy population, the emus play a really important role for that. So in spaces where maybe there isn't a generalist grazer like an emu, those species can sort of take over and smother other, a bit more vulnerable native species.
They haven't stopped eating while we've been sitting here. I imagine that they consume a lot of plant life. Do they do it a favour as well?
Yes, they help spread seeds through their scat. You can see in their scats that they leave in pockets all over the wildlife sanctuary, that they're leaving any grass seeds or native seeds in those scats, for then when the right conditions come, they germinate in a nice little pocket of fertiliser. We see them grazing on basically anything that has a fleshy fruit. Salt bushes, apple berries, cherry ballards, all with those really fleshy fruits. That's what they really like to eat. But those fruits also need to be stripped of their fleshy outer before they can germinate. So the bird's stomach system does that for us.
Right, scarifying through an emu.
Yes.
There's no doubt that not every area would have space for an animal as large and influential as the emu. But it is fantastic to see that the reintroduction here is letting their ecological role really shine.